Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामय सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखात् भाग् भवेत्. We pray for the happiness and peace of one and all. May everybody be comfortable and happy at all levels of the personality. May we see that which is auspicious and divine. May there be no suffering anywhere. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Does anybody have any question? See, section 1 was the basics of Vedanta. What is Vedanta? The world and human being, in which this the composition of the world is very, very important. We studied about the mineral kingdom, where there is changes, but it's hardly any noticeable. They have no conscious power. They have no awareness. But there is some change constantly happening. Over a long period of time, there is physical and chemical changes, but it's hardly perceptible. Then the vegetable world shows slightly more awareness or consciousness, but hardly anything. They are merely existing. They cannot move from place to place. Then we have the animal kingdom, where there is greater awareness. And in human beings, we have that subtle intellect by which we can conceive the self, understand it, pursue it, and ultimately reach it. And that is a state of absolute fulfillment. So that's one of the very, very important topics we covered. Then life, its course, code of living, three gunas, etc. And then what do we do with the body? Perfection in action. Strengthen and purify your emotions, gain the light of knowledge, and finally we ended with the personality chapter. Now we go deeper. Practical Vedanta, we go deeper into our personality layers. So we start with the human composition. What is the basic constitution? Anybody has any question? The mission of every human being is to discover the Supreme Self. Self is the abode of absolute peace and happiness. We know only of our body, mind, and intellect. We are caught up with only what we perceive and act, what we feel and think. We do not know what the self is. But it is said that the mission is to discover the self, to realize the eternal being within you. It requires a study of your constitution, what we are, who we are, an analysis of its constituents, and how each of them reacts with the external world. So that's experience, right? Life is Anubhavadhara, the flow of experiences. We are constantly interacting with the world. What is that we? There is the body, and within the body is our feelings and mind. In this chapter, we go more detailed, more subtler, more detailed. Thus, through self-study, self-observation, introspection, and a programmed application, not a casual programmed application, you reach the innermost core of your personality. You realize your divine self. The divine self, the supreme self, the eternal being is all pervading, but we got to locate it, we got to attune to it within oneself. So we do it through self-study and programmed application. A human being is constituted of the divine self, Atman, and the body, mind, intellect. The self is the spirit, same in all of us. The body, mind, intellect is matter, which is completely different, alag alag. Matter doesn't matter, but still we have to deal with it. Matter is inert, insentient. The Sanskrit word for it is called jada. It has, by itself, it has no life in it. But in contact with the self, it becomes a living being. Matter is body, mind, intellect. In the case of the mineral world or the plants world, it is just the body. They have no mind or intellect. In case of the animal world, there is body plus mind. In wherever there is a body, mind, intellect, the self in contact with the body, mind, intellect, there is a manifestation of a living being. A phenomena akin to an electric bulb glowing. The bulb has no light in itself, not as electricity. Electricity per se has no light. Bulb without electricity cannot give light. But when electricity comes in contact with the bulb, there is a brilliant expression of life. When the bulb is in contact with the electricity, there is a brilliant expression of light. So also your matter equipments have no life in themselves. Body, mind, intellect per se is inert, no life. Self is everywhere. There is no life everywhere. But when the equipments, body, mind, intellect are in contact with the self, there is a scintillating expression of life. Bulb in contact with electricity gives light. Body plus mind plus intellect, our feelings, thoughts, and the body in contact with the Atman, there is an expression of life. Right. You've covered this many times, nothing to explain. But the idea is to be very, very acutely aware of who we are, what we are. The physical body houses the organs of perception and action. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, the organs of perception, and the organs of action. Ravana's character represented the 10 heads of Ravana, represented the organs of perception and action. In him, the mind victimized it. So are we in control of the mind and the senses and the body, or are we victimized by the body, mind, intellect? The organs of perception take in stimuli from the external world. This is, we say, organs of perception is the window through which the world enters us. Stimuli are color and form for the eyes, sound for the ears, smell for the nose, taste for the tongue, and touch for skin. The mind and intellect react with the stimuli. Organs of action send out responses back into the world. So this is the traffic of life. Receipt of stimuli through the organs of perception. Reaction takes place with the mind and intellect, and the philosophy of Vedanta rehabilitates, reconstitutes, strengthens, and purifies our mind and intellect. So the reaction is proper. Finally, response is given out by the organs of action. If the mind alone reacts with the stimuli, right. If the mind alone reacts with the stimuli without consulting the intellect, the responses would be impulsive, eccentric, hysterical, leading to insanity. When the mind consults and takes guidance of the intellect, the responses would be objective and discrete and mature. I'll show you a graph for this. one of the fundamental steps that we need to take to improve ourselves or lift ourselves. The very first chapter of the Governing Business and Relationships, it talks about this. If I'm not wrong, let me just see. Right. Can you see the diagram? So the chart from sane, emotional, eccentric, hysterical, and insane. So here a sample of 100 actions are taken. 100 actions that we perform during the day. Take any sample of 100 actions. When we are operating from the level of the mind, it's impulsive, it's emotional, it's indiscriminate function acting, indiscriminate, impulsive, emotional. Whereas when we operate from the level of the intellect, it's called rational, discrete, discrimination. You're thinking and operating. One is you do whatever you feel like doing impulsively. The other is the intellect examines what thought arises in the mind. If it's good, you sanction it. If it is negative, you use the strength of your intellect, strength of your maturity, knowledge, wisdom, analysis, and dismiss the thought. If the intellect is weak, the mind takes over. If the intellect is strong, we are able to easily guide the mind. So when the intellect is functioning 100 out of 100 times, whatever the mind's impulses is, the intellect examines and then you operate. Such a person is called sane. Now, when the mind takes over 25%, the intellect is only functioning 75% out of 100, which is actually one impulsive action can be fatal, can be detrimental. So you have to just read every day's newspaper. I'm not recommending that you read the newspaper. All the wrong news are there. But if you filter the news through a philosophical angle, what all chances we take, what all risks we take, what all stupid things we do, why? The mind takes over. Either it's the mind's greed, either it's the mind's anger. We take unnecessary risk and we lose our life. We harm others. In the process, we end up doing bad karma, and it's a question of time we harm ourselves. All that is because we don't think about the consequences of what we are doing. That requires intellect. Mind will just do without thinking, impulsively. But the intellect can examine, if I do this, what is the consequences? Are you ready to take that risk? Are you sure you will get away with it? What if things go wrong? Are you prepared to face it when the things will go wrong? Any newspaper, any tragedy you take. I'm not talking a natural tragedy. A tragedy where the human being took a stupid, silly, unnecessary risk, harming others or harming yourself for nothing. It's almost like you wonder what is the motive for such a stupid action. Just some silly fun, some big harm to others for almost no gain, and your whole life for a few seconds of pleasure, a few seconds of entertainment, your whole life is lost. That's a typical impulsive action. So 75% seems to be a very good state, but one wrong action can be disastrous. But when the intellect is only functioning 75% of the time, 25% of the time it's mind-led direct activities, impulsive activities, such a person is called emotional. It's not the emotion of a person who is highly devotional or love or kindness. No. Emotional here means 25% is impulsive. When the mind takes over 50%, so the intellect is functioning 50%, mind is functioning 50%, such a person is eccentric. When you are relating to a sane person, he is very, very balanced. You can afford to be impulsive, you can afford to be emotional, but the sane person is balanced. He will deal with you with maturity. You don't have to worry too much about a sane person. But if you're dealing with an eccentric person, you got to be careful. Suddenly he's in a good mood, suddenly he's in a bad mood. 50% good mood, 50% bad mood. So you have to be careful. You don't know what he'll do. He has mood swings. Mental health problem starts from C to D onwards. There was a time most of the people were between A and B or B and C. B and C is pretty bad actually. Beyond C towards D is where mental health issues come. You are hardly stable, very, very restless, very nervous, very basically eccentric, tending towards hysterical. Hysterical means 75% of the time the mind is functioning. Only little bit of intellect is there. So to interact with a hysterical person, there's a very small window of opportunity where he is calm and composed. Otherwise, he's throwing tantrums, losing his anger, getting into depression, sad mood, low mood, all this sign of hysterical behavior. So C and D, mental health issues. Beyond D, I would say you need medication. 100% impulsive. The mind completely takes over. That's a mad person. He may be highly intelligent, may have gone to the best educational institutions, but the intellect is so weak, the mind is just dictating terms. One tragedy, one or a prolonged addiction, prolonged stress can put you in a state where the mind completely takes over. Well, after D, you need medication, you need external intervention. B, C, slightly C, D, you can still use your intellect to study Vedanta and calm yourself down. Understand things as they are. Calm the mind and then operate with the intellect. What is that which I need to do? What is that which is good for me? Whether I like it or not, I must do what I'm supposed to do. Not unnecessarily worry or be anxious. Not be foolish and stupid. That's the mind, impulsive. So this graph makes it clear. Here he just mentions in passing. Without the graph is mentioning. Anything you receive, you see something, you hear something, you taste something, you touch something. The reaction, if it's mind-led, the response would be impulsive, eccentric, hysterical. You're becoming mad. And the danger is, to the extent I am insane, I won't know. To the extent you are insane, you may not know. Others will know, not you. We are not aware of our insanity. Therefore, we must extend full cooperation towards others who will show us direction towards what is sanity. When the mind consults and takes the guidance of the intellect, your maturity, your knowledge, your wisdom, your thinking, the responses would then be objective, discreet, and mature. Not impulsive means you're acting without thinking. The other is you apply your thinking. What is that which is good? What is that which is safe? No harm in having fun. Everybody wants to have fun, be happy, but not at the cost of your goal, not at the cost of your life, not at the cost of you be behind the bars or harming anybody. Safe, mature, functioning, where you don't compromise with your goal in life. At the same time, you enjoy your life. Any questions? Right. See, as you study, this is like directly understanding yourself. Apply it immediately. These things. Whatever be the activities of the body, mind, and intellect. Activities of the body, emotions and feelings and desires of the mind, you're thinking of the intellect. The self is the life principle enlivening it all. The bulb is enlivened by the electricity. Similarly, the divine self, the Atman, is enlivening our matter equipments. That is said to be Atman God. What is it? The supreme power which vitalizes your body to act and perceive, your mind to feel, and your intellect to think. Without the presence of the self, these equipments remain inert as a mass of matter. This an animal cannot understand. You cannot talk to your cat or dog and say that, what enlivens you is the Atman. There is no thinking in them. But human being is blessed with the subtle intellect. The subtle intellect gives us the capacity to conceive that there is a supreme power, a transcendental power, a mysterious power. Body, mind, intellect is not functioning on its own. There is a power which enlivens it, without which we'll just be a inert mass of matter. Even an atheist, he is able to conceive the possibility of God, possibility of the Atman, and then reject it. He conceives it and says there is no such thing. So even atheist has a subtle intellect. However, what is this? Spectic. No, what is this? What is the word for this? What is it? However, somebody Tanas. However,
Atheist? Agnostic?
No. This
Skeptic.
one.
Skeptic.
Skeptic.
Skeptic. Yes.
Skeptic. I'm just not getting the word. However, the skeptic questions those who are doubting everything. This skeptic questions the authenticity of the existence of the supreme power. Now, be scientific. Don't bring in God. Where science ends, philosophy starts. Where physics ends, metaphysics starts. You want to deny the presence of this divine entity, it's up to you. Nobody is forcing you to do anything. Vedanta is just presenting what we say the facts of life. People who have actually reached the state of enlightenment, they have declared, and they have declared in various periods of history in different geographical places. They had no communication with them, but all have said the same thing. You can question. Wherever you question, you will hit one X factor. That X factor is God. Whoever these people are, they are questioning the authenticity of the existence of the supreme power. He refuses to accept anything beyond the perceptible terrestrial world. Perceptible terrestrial world is the realm of science. You can go to a lab and verify it. Philosophy is beyond the perceptible into the imperceptible, beyond the transcendental, beyond the terrestrial into the transcendental. That's where the intellect requires. Intellect penetrates through what is perceptible. See, perceptible is senses. You have to go beyond the senses. Terrestrial is what is manifest. You have to go beyond the terrestrial and recognize the possibility of the unmanifest supreme power. So they don't accept anything beyond the perceptible terrestrial world because of inadequacy of thinking material required for conceiving the transcendental. Just ask yourself, is there a transcendental? By denying it, what are you gaining it? The more you deny the supreme divine power, the more worried and anxious you will be, because you will feel you are responsible for everything. No. We are responsible for whatever we are supposed to do, that which is in our control. Thereafter, there is a divine grace. Feel it. As the subtle intellect unfolds, we are able to see the presence of divinity everywhere. In every experience, we say, thank God, it's all by the grace of God. Thank God, it's all by the grace of God. That is the whole exercise of spirituality. Attune to the transcendental. Attune to that divine power. It is mystic, but you have to feel its presence everywhere. What is making the sun rise? What is making the sun set? Some WhatsApp video came. It says the distance between whatever the distance between the earth and the sun. If there is 1% correction, we'll all burn to death or freeze to death. There is just 1% here and there. Everything, whether it's in the nature or within ourselves, is functioning with mathematical precision, error-free. Law of karma cannot go wrong. We'll have to, as the scripture says, ya pashyati, sa pashyati. Ram 3 plus 3, or two boundaries, 4 plus 4. 4 and 4 is what?
4 plus 4, 8.
8. 4 and 4 is 44. 4 and 4 is 44. Now, if we have an argument, what will others say? Ya pashyati, sa pashyati. Whoever sees it, sees it. 4 plus 4 is 8, or 4 plus 4 is 44. Beyond a point, there is no point arguing. Whoever sees it, see it. If you want to believe it's 44, please go ahead. If you want to believe it's 8, please go ahead. Yes, so if you can't see the splash of divinity everywhere, yes, knowledge helps. But if you keep denying it, What good is it doing to you? It's not a superstition. Everywhere you go, there is an X factor. Where did all this start? Who designed the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets and the every prey and predator, right? What is this? The snake and the what is the animal which keeps on fighting with the snake?
Mongoose.
Mongoose.
The snake and the mongoose, the deer and the tiger. Any two sets of prey and predator. The predator is designed to catch the prey. The prey is designed to escape the predator. Incredible. The color of the skin, their claws, everything. The deer has that, what do you call that? The horns, horns, right? Whatever. It is
Antlers.
designed so that, huh? Repeat that, Puneet.
Antlers.
Yeah, antlers. So that is designed to escape the deer and the tiger. And the tiger and the deer leopard is designed to catch the herbivorous animals. So if you have the eyes, if you have the training, you see the beauty of a flower and say, who's designed it? Who's unfolding it? Who's given it the fragrance? Who's given it the color? Scientists can only talk in terms of perceptible terrestrial realm. They cannot conceive the transcendental. I mean, they are operating with a gross intellect. Human beings alone have the subtle intellect. What we are studying is pure subtle intellect. The more subtle intellect is unfolded, you're not superstitious, but you are able to feel the presence. There is so much that is not in our control. What happened in Venezuela? What is the guarantee it will not happen in India? And can anybody prevent that from happening there? We can only quietly do a little bit of karma, which can be good or bad. Rest, nothing in our hand. So to that grace of nature, grace of universe, divine, whatever we say, divinity, we are able to conceptualize. But those who don't have it and dismisses the concept, this word is not coming out of me, SCEPTIC, they dismiss the concept of the transcendental being as a fanatic belief of a person without reason backing it. It is beyond reason. It's not illogical, but it's beyond reason. Truth is truth, whether it's logical or illogical. Sometimes truth is illogical, but it is the ultimate truth, and truth doesn't change. We have to see it. And see it, why do we have to see it? If it is not beneficial for you, don't see it. But by denying the truth, what good it will do to you? It will only fill you with worry and anxiety. It will only lead you to suffering. But if you are able to see the truth, believe the truth, pursue the truth, you will be free from worry and anxiety. You will get a clear direction that this is what I need to do and this is where I need to surrender. Ironically, there are many aspects of the world that the skeptics believe, the skeptics themselves believe and accept without reason. So he's giving some examples. The most rational, even scientists would find it difficult to live in the world without assumptions and beliefs. Does any child who is born ask the mother, show me your DNA, how am I sure that I am your child? Do a DNA test. Does anybody do that? I don't think that happens anywhere in the world, right? So the starting of life itself is with assumptions and belief. We don't question that I am the child of my parents. So everything, it starts, everything, it would be, says, in truth, it would be impractical, it would be practically impossible to go by reason and proof at every turn of life. How do you know the next meal, the lunch or the dinner will not be poisoned? How do you know that you are the son of your parents? When you go for a meal to a restaurant, how do you know the food is not contaminated? When you take an Uber, how do you know that that guy will not kidnap you and rob you? If you have a suspicion, a clue, then you got to act on that intellectual suspicion or clue. But if you start doubting everything, will this building collapse? If you start doubting everything, you'll be the most stressed out person in the whole world. You have to have faith, but it's not a blind faith. You understand that there are certain things, I just do it. Not blindly, but say, this probably is all right to follow. In truth, it would be practically impossible to go by reason and proof at every turn of life. How do you know that you are the son of your parents, the child of your parents? When you go for a meal or to a restaurant, how do you know the food is not contaminated? When you hire a cab, how do you know the driver is sane? There are numerous other questions that remain unanswered in your mind. You perhaps would prima facie dismiss these thoughts as absurd, ridiculous. Yet you go through these experiences by mere assumptions and beliefs. However, it's actually a very, very important, and this part doesn't get repeated often. Comes only one or two places in the complete works, but very, very important because the whole foundation of what we are trying to pursue base is resting on these very, very subtle ideas. This what is called corroboratory evidences. These beliefs and assumptions are not totally baseless. They are supported by several corroboratory evidences which stand to reason. Hence, they are not blind beliefs. So do your own thinking. You've got to really think and ask yourself, is there any truth in what is being said? Don't accept it without questioning. Receive it, question it. Because as I said, the whole foundation of the journey of self-realization. So you just want to be a good, happy person in the world, just learn the higher values of life. Be unselfish, be kind, don't be impulsive, pursue your higher goal. But if you are dedicating ourselves to go to something beyond the body, mind, intellect, beyond the perception, emotion, and thought, then this is the foundation of that journey. Likewise, the introduction of the Supreme Self as the transcendental power, the Godhead vitalizing the material equipments into living beings, is not a groundless belief. It's an idea thousands of scriptures have talked about from thousands of years. But still, that is not a reason for us to accept it. It could be wrong. Do your own thinking. Respect it because it is a time-tested knowledge. Respect it, but don't accept it without your questioning. You got to do your own questioning. A careful analysis of life's experiences would provide you enough reason to substantiate the belief. We'll just take up one paragraph. I have to travel, so we'll end the class early. Before we read it out, suppose you ask me, who are you? And I'm saying, this is my bottle. This is my house. This is my car. It will be really funny. What is this, sir? We are asking, who are you? And you're saying, this is my bottle. This is my house. This is my car. Now, the moment we start using this possessive pronoun my, say my house or my car, it is understood the house and the car is not me. They are my belongings. I am the possessor. They are my possessions. There is a possession relationship. The house and the car belong to me. I am not the house. I am not the car. I am the possessor. They belong to me. Very simple. But it leads to a very, very profound truth. We are all the time using my body is fit, my body is sick. My mind is happy, my mind is disturbed. My intellect understands, so my intellect sometimes doesn't understand. The fact that we are saying my body, my mind, my intellect, by applying the same logic as my car, my house, my car means I am not the car, I am not the house. So the fact that we are using my body, my mind, my intellect, does it not mean the body belongs to me? The mind belongs to me. The intellect belongs to me. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. I am the possessor. These are my possessions. Who am I? But if you take away the body, mind, intellect, there is a big zero. Who am I? So, this one point itself is enough for us to think. Is there, what you have to think? You can't think and come to a conclusion, but you can only, it creates a very deep sense of suspicion. You refer to your equipments as my body, my mind, my intellect. The use of the possessive pronoun my indicates there are two factors, the possessor and the possessed. The possessor is you. Who are you? Who am I? The great Ramana Maharishi says, Nanyar, who are you? And the possessed, the body mind is possessed is the material equipments of the body mind intellect. The equipments are therefore your possessions. They belong to you. If this be so, then who are you? Take away the body mind intellect from your personality, there seems nothing left. Yet you feel a subject integrating them and claiming these objects as its possessions. That unknown subject, which we cannot know objectively, has been designated as Atman, the self within. That X factor, that mysterious X factor is the divine power, supreme power, which is using the body mind intellect as it were. But because our identification, our thinking is so complete with the body mind intellect, we believe I am that body mind intellect. The truth that we have to reflect and contemplate is I am the body mind, I am the self using the body mind intellect, or am I the body mind intellect? If you're too attached to the body mind intellect, whatever happens to the body mind intellect happens to you. But if you're able to step back, body mind intellect is going through something, but I am not affected. When Swamiji wrote the Thesis on God book, he made a change to one of the topics. The waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. We only know the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. We don't know what is you. Similarly, we are only knowing the body, our emotions and feelings, the mind, and our thoughts. But what is beyond that? Is there something beyond that? That itself is contemplation. That itself is the role of the subtle intellect. Am I this? What is the conclusion? Am I this body, mind, intellect? Or my body, my mind, my intellect belongs to me? Who am I? That is a very, very powerful idea presented to suspect, not get convinced. You start with a suspicion. As you evolve spiritually, as you get closer to the self, you become convinced. There must be something beyond the body, mind, intellect. Don't just accept it for, see, it's all how convinced we are. It's just not, just because somebody is saying it, oh, Swamiji has written it, therefore it must be true. That is devotion. The other is to question, think, question, introspect, think varam, punha, again and again think. There is one person who little bit of affectation to the body, mind, intellect, he gets super affected. Another person, so much of suffering to the body, mind, intellect, Christ, being crucified, nailed, but is calm, graceful. How is it? One person is totally attached to the body, mind, intellect. One person is totally detached. Who is this? Who or what is getting attached? Who and what is remaining detached? Am I the body, mind, intellect, or am I something beyond it? My house, my car, my phone, my body, my intellect, my mind. Actually, okay, think about, let's see, come back next week. There is a difference between my house, my car, and my body, my mind, my intellect. There is a difference. Let's see. Come back. Don't have to answer now. Maybe you know it already, but come back next week. We'll end the class here now. I have to travel, so we'll end class. We'll end with the prayer. But somebody remind me, Ushaji, what is the difference between my car, my house? That is the example given to communicate the message. My body, my intellect. Is it not the same? But there is a difference. You can say, is this not the difference? We can take it up. Possessor and possessed. Both are possessor and possessed. Body, mind, intellect is possessed. I am the possessor. Mind, car, and house are possessed. I am the possessor. But there is a difference. We'll take it up next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Basabji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi, for the answer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hari Om Bas.
Hari Om. Bye, Sumuk. Hari Om, Priyanka.
Hari Om Bas.